Welcome to JLive. I'm Laura Mandel, J Arts Executive Director, and it's great to be with you for JLive, our J Arts virtual series of bite-sized conversations about Jewish life and art with the best artists with Boston connections. Today, I'm here with musician and cantor, Shanna Zell. Shanna is now the beloved cantor of Temple Beth Elohim right here in Wellesley, Massachusetts. But her path to being a cantor actually came through being a singer-songwriter. So today, we have a very special opportunity to understand her journey through her music. And I have to admit that as much as I've known her for many years since she actually moved to Boston, this is the first time I get to experience her own original music. So I'm so excited. Welcome, Shanna.
Thanks, Laura.
Of course, as always, if you have questions during our conversation, please feel free to put them in the chat and we'll ask as many of them as time allows. And before we go in, I just want you all to know that the song we opened with was called Ecstasy Parade. It actually comes off of Shanna's 2005 album called Hurricane Season. So with that in mind, let's get into the live music and kick us off with a song called My Faith Strengthens.
The shadows on the wall. But in the dark I see your eyes, 'cause your face is lit up by the moon. But my faith in you strengthens. My mind may twist and bend, still my faith in you strengthens.
I just love that song. I told you, I just want to listen to it, which to me is like the ultimate compliment. And I am totally astonished that you wrote that when you were 16. So tell us about the story behind this song.
Yeah. I was in a phase of my life where I was really exploring my relationship with God and my relationship with Judaism. Having been raised in a conservative home, I actually dabbled in all different types of Judaism and all different types of practices. And at that time of my life, I was actually considering what it might be to be more observant, spending Shabbatot in Baltimore with NCSY conventions and more religious groups of people. I also, at the same time, had an aunt that was pregnant and was having a difficult pregnancy and actually was incredibly sick toward the end of her pregnancy. And I wrote what's actually going to be the next song that you'll hear around then. And My Faith Strengthens also came a little bit around that time when I was exploring what does it mean to talk to God? What does it mean to understand one's faith? Now, simultaneously, I was also a teenager, starting relationships, budding relationships. And I thought that it was a really interesting comparison to see what it might feel like to talk about God the way that you would talk about someone that you are interested in. And when I brought this song to some of my friends, they actually heard God just as much as they heard that person-to-person relationship. So there was a lot happening in my world at that time. And I think that this music enabled me to really express things that I was struggling with, that I was processing at quite a young age.
Oh, I'm just so taken by what you were able to express at 16, because it's just proof that there's something so special about music and how people are able to express themselves. It's pretty powerful. Okay, so you just referenced another song that is called Reach, that is a cappella, that you also wrote when you were 16. So tell us about that.
So again, it was this idea that maybe it's possible to be in conversation with God. I really didn't know what that meant to me at the time. And, you know, when I was younger, I thought of God as the traditional bearded man on a cloud somewhere, kind of controlling everything. And I think that around 15, 16, I started to understand that God could be something different. But I always knew that music was a way for me to express emotions and feelings that I couldn't always articulate. And so when I was having a difficult time or processing something that was perhaps too difficult to put into words, I could put it into music. And so this song came to me as I was what I would consider praying at that time and point in my life, for the health of my aunt and for the well-being of who's now my cousin. So she was okay through that pregnancy. And so I wrote this song, and I'd love to share it with you if that's all right.
I'm excited. Go ahead.
I'm trying to talk to you. She's dying for me to talk to you. Do you speak? I'm so weak, I can't hear you. Well, maybe that's not your intent. And maybe you are meant to be seen. Will you show me? Don't you know me? I'm the one who asks for you so frequently, admitting my love secretly. I am crying, and she's dying to feel you. Well, why is it that you can't touch those of us who need you so much? Can I reach you? Can you teach me how to? Whoa. My watch is surely stopping time, so I can concentrate on my mind. Is this a race? I think my pace is steady, but I don't think she's ready to run.
I'm clapping on behalf of everyone in the audience because just to give you a sense, I agree with the comment in the chat that you are the bee's knees. That was stunning, beautiful. I'm just reading the chat because I have to tell you, that was so, so moving. Thank you. Really, really beautiful.
Thank you.
So, all right, as we move along the stops of your trajectory here, this next song is from your EP called Coming Together. You said you wrote this song, When Will They Meet? When you were 26. So tell us.
So actually the EP is called Coming Undone. And it was written at a moment in my life where I actually felt like there were just things that I couldn't quite make sense of. There were a lot of things happening. I knew that there were things I was supposed to be doing, and I knew that everything I was doing in my life was exactly what I was supposed to be doing, but also I felt like, where am I going? It's a classic mid-20s conundrum. What am I doing with my life? Am I happy? And so I was working in New York City at the time. I was working in the music industry and also gigging full-time as a singer-songwriter in New York. And this song came to me just kind of imagining two people who were supposed to meet and just kept missing one another. There's a traditional, like a famous allegory about two ships passing in the night that never quite know that the other is there. And I actually think that something that's been really, really present throughout my entire journey is that even when I wasn't aware that I was doing exactly what I was supposed to be doing, I was. And I realized also in hindsight, which is a beautiful gift, that everything I did put me on a path to be exactly where I am today. And so that question of, will you meet that person? Will you meet your purpose? Is there because I believe you will, and that everything that you're doing right now is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And so I had a band called Shanna and the Zellots. And I think this is now a great time to introduce my friend Elon Wong on piano and harmonies. And I'm grateful that I've had a rotating cast of incredible musicians who have supported me along my journey from my littlest age. I started writing songs when I was 6, all the way to now. And I feel grateful to be supported by Elon on this part of my journey. So I feel like I've met the people that I'm supposed to meet. More on that in a moment. And I feel like I have met my purpose, which is why I am singing to you from my office at Temple Beth Elohim, which is exactly where I'm supposed to be. She's intently talking to him. He's intently watching TV. When will they meet? When will they meet? When will they meet? She catches another man go by just as his hand reaches her thigh. When will they meet? He likes the color of her skin. She wants love to enter in. When she looks around her, everything turns into wedding bells and rings. When will they meet? When will they meet? When will they meet? At first he just wanted in her pants, but now he's pining for romance. When will they meet? He likes the color of her eyes. She likes when he cuts her down to size. Now they'll both sit and wait by the phone, but all they'll get is dial tone. When will they meet? When will they meet? When will they meet? He may go to answer his front door, but she won't be there anymore. When will they meet? He likes the color of her hair. She likes that she can take him anywhere. Do 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 do.
You are a breath of fresh air. Your honesty just resonates with me so strongly. I feel like we all know the story you're talking about, and it's fabulous. I love it. But I think it's so interesting because the way this song goes into the next, everyone should know that actually when you first moved to Boston, you were single. And I can say we spent a fair number of hours talking about that and about the challenges of finding men in this city, if we're being honest. Right?
Very true.
Right? And I also find it funny that fast forward now, I think I knew your husband Josh before you knew him.
I think you did.
And you found a real catch. And I feel like it's just like the perfect segue between songs now that, you found your bashert, you found your wonderful husband, and just got married recently in the pandemic. And so I know you wrote this song in your company for your wedding. So tell us about that.
So it's funny because I was worried what happens when I meet the man of my dreams, like all the songs that I wrote about heartbreak. What then? And I think that I used the drama and the heartache as inspiration for so much of my writing that it was actually a relief to write something that was a love song, and something that was a love song that was based on reality, that was based on the moment, that was based on a real person, not just someone who was out of reach, not someone who would, pass me by and I missed my opportunity, or they missed theirs, or however you want to frame it. This was really happening, and with a really great, amazing human being. And Josh, I hope I'm not embarrassing you too much. So I actually thought that what a gift that I had at this point in my life, gone through 5 years of cantorial school training and years of an internship at an amazing place in Brooklyn. And at this point now, years of working at an amazing congregation here in Wellesley. And I had all of this new information to incorporate, all of this new life experience to incorporate into my music. And so in the Torah, we have Shir HaShirim, or Song of Songs, or the Songs of Solomon. You might know them a number of different ways. But this is basically a book of Torah that talks about a loving relationship between God and Israel. And the language from the book is very sensual and very romantic. And there is a line from chapter 5 that basically says, like, "Oh, daughters of Jerusalem, if you see my beloved, tell him I'm faint with love." And I love that line so much that it's actually woven into our ketubah. And I wrote an entire song based on it. So you're going to hear most of that song. It's a little long for today's concert, which means you'll have to just come back for more at some point. But you'll hear most of the message today. And I'm lucky we were able to incorporate a bit of this into our wedding ceremony, despite it being a 14-person wedding during the pandemic. So I feel lucky. And this song is for Josh. Breathe in on 1, exhale on 2, encircle me, encircling you. We bind ourselves to the greatest love, and that we will pursue. 'Cause the moon shines brighter with you by my side, and I can't live without your light in my life. Awaken my heart, my love, you hold the key. I am faint with love in your company. Cry out for me, I will run to you. Trust that I will comfort you. We bind ourselves to the greatest love, and that we will pursue. 'Cause the moon shines brighter with you by my side, and I can't live without your
Sorry, I was muted. Absolutely gorgeous. And I just have to tell you, again, the chat is going crazy with beautiful. We love listening to you. Your honesty is inspiring. I mean, it's going and going.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I can't see it, so I'm really touched.
I'm
really touched.
telling you, no. I mean, really, I think we are all so taken by you. I just have the pleasure of relaying that.
Thanks, Laura.
Really, really stunning. Okay, so before we go out with one final song, we have a question from the audience that I actually want to know from you. Now, Clearly you wrote this song for your wedding during the pandemic. People want to know, were you either inspired or the opposite during the pandemic to write music?
Wow. I think it ebbed and flowed. Probably true for every artist. I think there was a lot of heartbreak over not being able to perform live, which I think feeds into your inspiration. When you have a community that can sing back to you or sing with you, like here in the synagogue, when I'm singing with my community, I'm inspired by that. And it actually makes me want to go home and write. And the Zoom platform is both a gift and also really challenging because you can't hear people singing with you. So I think there were moments where I was really inspired to create, and we did for members of TVE who are watching and extended community members, you know that we had a ton of videos that we created during the pandemic as a way to show that we're still singing despite the challenge of the world. But it wasn't until a little bit later in the pandemic that I was inspired to write. And that's actually, Laura, the perfect segue to the next piece. Do you want me to talk about that, or?
Perfect, let's do it. Well, actually, I will say one thing, which is simply, I'm going to have you play us out on this. And once you're done playing, I'm not going to say anything else. So I don't think we have any more questions that are pertinent from the audience, but I just want to say that I am so taken by the fact that your music, to me, is the very kind of new Jewish music that I love to see, that we at J Arts want to see, where it's so rooted in tradition and it's so modern. And I want to listen to it, and that, I know it sounds kind of funny, but it's like, I want to listen. That really impacts me. So I just have to say, I'm so taken by everything you're doing, and this mix of tradition and modern vision, I think, is so special and unique. Thank you for being with us today. I want to tell everyone out there that we will send along links to some of your EPs and other recordings. And of course, if there's a concert in the future, we'll let everyone know about that too. So I just wanted to put that out there before we wrap up. But now, Shanna, go ahead. Take us out with some words and a song.
Yeah, so thank you so much to Laura and to Jewish Arts Collaborative for inviting me to be a part of this. This is the first time, and I can't tell you how long that I've actually shared my original music, and it's really a vulnerable thing to do. And I'm grateful to Elon and to Laura and to everyone at J Arts for enabling this moment to happen. And I think Laura named exactly what my wildest dreams have been that are starting to actualize, which are to blend the driving rock rhythms that I knew from my days of the rock world and bringing them into the synagogue in a way that's intentional and informed. And so I'm really grateful that during the pandemic, I was able to take a songwriting class with my friend and High Holy Day musical partner, Noah Aronson. And he gave us a prompt of the whole world is a very narrow bridge, which comes from Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, Kol ha'ulam kulo gesher tsar me'od v'ha'ikar lo lefachad klal, which means the whole world is a very narrow bridge, and the most important thing is not to be afraid. And so this is the culmination of that class, and also perhaps of like my whole life of singing rock stuff or singer-songwriter stuff and blending it with my Jewish present. So I hope you'll enjoy, again, most of the song that we're able to play today. Yes. I need my headphones for this. Elon reminds me. If ever you feel stuck where you stand, have faith the ground will support where you land. Though the bridge is narrow, do not fear it all. והעיקר לא לפחד כלל. kulo gesher tsar me'od. I won't be afraid. If you're in need, I'll come running. Hold on tight, 'cause help is coming. There may be giants who stand in our way, but we're brave, we're wise, we're strong. We bend, we don't break. The whole world is a very narrow bridge, and I won't be afraid. Ulam kulo gesher tsar me'od, and I won't be afraid. No step is too small. It's all right. Sometimes we fall, though the road is long, alone. The whole world is a very narrow bridge, and I won't be afraid. Olam kulo gesher tsar me'od, and I won't be afraid. May we outrun our fears, safe and sound. May we let the love wash away our tears. Courage abound. Thank you again to J Arts and to everyone for joining us today. We're so happy that you were with us.